For the fans. For the players. For all the news. Firebirds Weekly. This week's guest is Tyrese Chambers.
Henry Nell Kicking. Professional training with a personal touch. While it is important to start young, attention to details and creating good habits is just as important. You will get the results you are looking for, using tried and true practices proven at the professional level. When you're ready to up your kicking game, enroll in Henry Nell Kicking Training. You will be glad that you did.
Welcome to Firebirds Weekly, Season 2, Episode 9. We are live here at JC Tractor in Hoosick Falls, New York. We are presented by Dude Wipes and Henry Nell Kicking. I am your host, Adam Samarov, and I'm joined by my co-host, Chris Sipperly. And tonight, our guest is one of the new members of the Albany Firebirds, wide receiver extraordinaire, Tyrese Chambers. Tyrese, how are we doing this evening, my man?
Feeling good, man. Appreciate you for having me.
Oh, for sure. It's we're very much happy to be able to welcome you into the nest and have you on the show tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So like we start with many guests that we've had over the 2 years of doing this. We talk about where you've grown up, where you're from, and all that. And you're a Baltimore guy.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about growing up in Baltimore and then playing football in the Mid-Atlantic states.
So yeah, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, East Baltimore. Yeah, I'm from. Anybody know about Baltimore? It's the trenches. It's definitely the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
However, a lot of things that a lot of people don't know about Baltimore is that it's a lot of opportunity here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a city full of hustlers. I would like to say a lot of go getters, a lot of people that start from zero and work their way up to build what they need to build for them and their family. So just a really tough environment being in, but something that I'm thankful to be a part to have been a part of. It made me the man I am today. So.
And talk about getting into the game. Who was your main person you admired and got you into playing the game of football?
I started playing football when I was about 8 years old. Really, honestly, to change my situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't a lot of kids do it for. A lot of people had gotten to the sport for the fun of it, or they had like a dad or somebody in their family that did it. With me, it was a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did it to kind of change my situation. You know what I'm saying? I knew my circumstances. I knew the situation I was in. Being in Baltimore, like I said, it's a really tough environment. I just wanted to create opportunity for me and my family. Give myself an opportunity to, pay for school, to make it to the highest level, to take care of my family, and just to kind of get myself out of my situation. So that's why I really started playing football. Started when I was 8 years old.
So for people that don't know, what makes Baltimore tough? Like, what makes it difficult for somebody to be successful in that environment?
I'm gonna say, especially in my field. So being a football player here is just tough in general. I would like to say, like, I kind of opened doors for my city. When it comes to, we had some people that made it to NFL and did a lot of good things in this city before. But I say for me, I kind of tapped in with my community as a young kid. Just kind of trying to show the kids like how to move. When I say like it's a tough environment, just the school systems is tough. Like you can get easily caught up in a lot of things if your mind isn't right. You know what I'm saying? If you're not locked in or focused, it's a lot of things that you can get yourself into out here.
Sure. Gotcha.
And it's good too, because and I'm sure you bring that message to the kids, and it's like, man, you don't have to get caught up in it. You can get out and do whatever you need to do, to make yourself, to bring, make yourself like a better person. Like, and I think that's a message that goes to the kids, I think.
Absolutely. That's what I try to install into them. You know what I'm saying? Like me, like I don't drink, I don't smoke. I never failed no drug test. I don't got no criminal record. I did everything the right way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thankful because I got 2 degrees. I've been in the NFL for camp. You know what I'm saying? I done played, at the highest level, like this professional football at the end of the day. So I still got big goals and aspirations, but I'm thankful to be in the position that I'm in right now. So I just want to just lead by example.
What were those 2 degrees in?
Marketing and liberal arts.
Okay. Now, were those? Did you get each one at different schools, or what was one like a graduate program? Because we're going to get into it in a minute in terms of the colleges that you attended. I was just curious for my own knowledge.
Yeah, so I've been around. I've been around.
Right.
I've been around a lot. Fort Scott Community College, Florida International University of Maryland. So and Sacred Heart University, but I didn't graduate from Sacred Heart University.
Gotcha.
Tell me about the recruiting process. We kind of talk about this with guys, and it's different in different places. Some guys, were these 3 and 4 star recruits coming out, and other guys, just looking for an opportunity. Tell me about your recruiting process coming in from going from high school to college, and then from the JUCO route to Florida, international, and that Division 1, football.
So they call me the kid with the $1 million story, man. So I'm about to give y'all $1 million worth of game.
There we go.
I like it.
Hey, like for me, growing up playing high school football here, it was really tough. I was all state, so I was one of only 2 kids to make all state lists. The other kid went to Penn State, was a 4 star. I had 0 offers, 0 stars, which I didn't know. I didn't understand why, because I was on the same
Mm,
list he was on. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah, that's hard to understand, especially as a young person. Even now, I
Yeah,
mean, I'm sure it doesn't feel any better now than it did 5, 6 years ago. You know.
yeah. It's like it mentally, it can do something to you mentally. That's why I said I'm thankful that I already had it hard growing up in general. So it's like I was prepared for adversity. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like it didn't break me. It just made me just want to work even more harder. So I had to take the junior college route, and I had to take the junior college route because I didn't get the opportunities that I felt like I deserved.
Hmm.
So I've been around the ballpark for a little bit. I never actually played a full season of junior college. My first year, I just focused on grades.
Yep.
I had made sure my GPA was where it needed to be. My second year, I was expected to play, but I ended up getting a scholarship offer from Sacred Heart in the spring. So I was like, I could stay, play a season, get some Power Five offers, or do I want to take this opportunity?
Sure.
I didn't want to play around with the opportunity, so I took advantage of it. I'm like, I'm gonna just go here.
Yeah.
Small school in Connecticut. It's a FCS school in
Yep.
Connecticut.
Hmm.
And I was like, I'm just going to take it. So I end up taking it. Fast forward, end up was an All American there, Rookie of the Year, Jerry Rice Award finalist there.
Hmm.
I killed it, and
So
then
I have a question for you before I forget. So when we were doing our homework, um, I saw that you and Robert McCoy appeared on the same roster in 2019.
that is correct.
Okay, so did you guys actually spend some time together on the field, being quarterback and receiver? Did it get to that point, or is it more, or was the depth chart a little bit different in 2019?
Yeah, depth chart was a little different. Rob was throwing me some touchdowns in practice and stuff for sure.
Yep.
He was a youngin, so
Yeah.
he was fresh out of high school, I believe. We had some vets
Hmm.
that was already on the roster, so it wasn't his turn yet, but
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but nah, I'm definitely familiar with his game. That's my dog, so we had a really good relationship there. Yeah, so yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
And it almost it's a story of like betting on yourself, and it sounds like that's something you've done your whole life, where you're like, hey, I'm going to take this offer to go to a FCS school in Sacred Heart, kill it, and then see what happens, and you do. And then talk about going to Florida. I mean, it's a hell of a lot easier to play in warm Florida than it is to play in cold Connecticut. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so like when I was at Sacred Heart, I had so much success, but I feel like my success was just being disrespected, and like because I guess it's not a big school and stuff like that, I felt even though I played with 3 NFL players on that team, Julius Chestnut, and it's
Yep.
like it's like 2 other guys, but fast forward, like I just felt like my success there was just kind of disrespected. It was kind of being overlooked. So I said I wanted to take a leap of faith and
Hmm.
play FBS football. So when I entered the portal, COVID-19 happened. So I'm sitting
Mm.
home and I'm just kind of throwing my own one-on-one camps. Like I'm doing my own sessions. So I had like created an event where like all the guys from different places, different areas, different schools, they all came and we was doing one-on-ones and we was filming it and it kind of took off. And I was destroying everybody, but it kind of took off to the point where it got to UTSA head coach Josh, what's his name? I'm trying to think. Trailer, Coach Trailer, at UTSA. And he was my first FBS offer. And then that's when I started getting some more. Butch Davis ended up calling me from Florida International. I ended up switching on signing day. I switched from UTSA to FIU. I just felt like FIU was a lot of opportunity there. I felt like it was a lot of resources, and I just fell in love with the state in general. So end up going there. First year was kind of the best year of my college career. I had 1,000 yards off of 45 catches. I had led the nation in
Jeez.
yards. Yeah, I
It's
led
like
the
it was
nation
like
in.
25 yards of reception. Like that's
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And before that, though, so the all-time yards per catch record was 33.6. I broke that in week 6. They said if I needed to play one more game to actually for it to stick.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Based
I
on
I
minimum
ended up, yeah,
reps.
I caught
Yeah.
the ball too much. That was the first game I wanted to not catch the ball that much to keep the record, but they end up dropping it. My record ended up getting dropped down. I thought that after 6 games it'd stick, but I guess not. So the rules kind of changed now. But yeah, I had 33.6 at a point in time. But yeah, I was a Biletnikoff Award finalist, a little award watch list. I was All American. And then literally after that, it
Mm-hmm.
was like my coach ended up getting fired. Not I'm gonna say the word fired, but he ended up, parting ways from the program.
Mm-hmm.
And my strength coach, who was my heart and soul, Andrew Swayze, man, that's my dog. And when he left, I was hurt. I was like, man, this
Right.
this is like my secret formula right here. Like
Mm-hmm.
I ran 4.42 with this guy. Like this guy got me like feeling like the best ever. Like I was like I felt so good being with them. And when they part ways from the program, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Right.
I started yeah, when I entered the portal, my whole life changed completely. Like my life never was the same after that. I had like probably 37 or 38 scholarship offers, like coaches from Purdue, from Auburn, Mississippi State, like everybody just flying in, talking to me on campus. Like we going to dinner, we like
Mm-hmm.
everything. Like I had literally every offer in the country. I ended up signing with Arizona State. I mean, not signing, but I ended up verbally committing to
Mm-hmm.
Arizona State with
Yep.
Herm
Mhm,
Edwards, Antonio Pierce, and those guys. And Jaden Daniels was the quarterback.
mhm.
That's where I was going. And the next thing you know, they end up parting ways from the program. Jaden actually end up going to LSU, at that time, and then I end up finding out that I was gonna have to sit out a year because I needed my degree. I needed to graduate. So
Hmm.
it's like, all right, do I want to take the risk or do I want to come back to my school? So I ended up coming back to my school and finishing my senior year at FIU and graduating there. But it was actually kind of a little different my senior year, because we had a lot of young guys. There was a lot of young guys. I was just kind of like the big bro, just kind of
Mm-hmm.
teaching them how to play college ball, teach them how to be professionals. And it really didn't show what I was doing for my team on
Mm-hmm.
stats wise my senior year, but it definitely showed that I can, lead a team. And I was a team captain. I did a lot of good stuff for my teammates. So my agents and stuff at the time, they wanted me to declare for the draft. I wanted to come back to college football because I wanted to be the best. I felt like I didn't leave. I wasn't going to leave being the best. You know what I'm saying? And
Sure. There's more on the table, more to achieve, more to prove, all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So that was when it led to Maryland. But I can elaborate on that too. But that's my FIU experience.
Talk about playing for Coach Davis. I mean, by the time he played coached at FIU, programs were a little down, just wins and losses wise. But he, was a part of a lot of that success, with those Miami teams back in in the late '90s and early 2000s. I mean, that's it got to appeal even just because you guys are obviously younger guys, but it's like the history of the program and the fact that he's the guy running that that 2001 team with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and all those guys. Like
Exactly.
there's
You know
pedigree
something.
there, of what the kind of coaches talk about playing for Coach Davis.
I love that guy, man. I love him so much. I'm so thankful that he gave me opportunity to, have the life that I had that I had out there, and it added so much to my career being there. From just the opportunity standpoint to like my relationship with him. Like I talk to him still to this day. Like when I had my mini camp with Cleveland, he coached for the Browns, so he called me
Yep.
and stuff and was,
Hmm.
we was talking, chopping it up. I just have a really, really good relationship with him, man. It was so sad to see him how everything is transpired in, that last year. I was his last recruit, out of his whole career. Like you say, he's a national championship coach. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? He's
Hey,
a
right.
phenomenal coach. But me and his relationship has always been we had a really good relationship. We always gonna have a really good relationship.
And then obviously you again bet on yourself and you go back to school and you have a great 22 season where you're on the Bolitnikoff list for the top wide receiver. And then tell me about making the decision to go to Maryland. You kind of mentioned it a little bit, like, oh, do I want to try to go in the draft? Go back to school, and then talk about going to the University of Maryland. Big Ten. Now we're in. You talk about a Power Five
Yeah,
place. Talk about being able to do that and go play for the Terrapins.
yeah. So my first year at FIU, I when I entered the portal after my first season, I had
Mm-hmm.
every offer in the country. I decided to go back. It was a loyalty move. I felt like I wanted to finish what I had started there, and I just felt like my year just it didn't end the way I wanted it to end. So I was like, I felt like my time at FIU was up. And I wanted to, pursue other options and just kind of, finish my career at a bigger stage, at a bigger level.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of offers again. It's not as much as I had the first year, but I had some pretty good schools on the table. It came down to my last three was UCF, Colorado, and Maryland. I was down there with Coach Prime. They offered me a scholarship, flew me out there and everything on an official visit. That was like one of the best experiences ever. I
Mm-hmm.
just felt like my situation at Maryland was going to be a little bit better for me being from Maryland.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
a
I'm
big part
saying?
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Talib was he returned. He was leading the Big Ten, all-time leading passer in the Big Ten. He was returning. Those receivers that Maryland had prior to that, all three of those guys went to the league. So I
Mm-hmm.
felt like it was just a lot of opportunity there. I had a really good relationship with Coach Loxley. I'm from Maryland. I get a chance to play in front of my hometown, you know what
That's
I'm
big.
saying, my
Yep.
family.
Mm-hmm.
So that was ultimately my decision. Coming to Maryland, that was my
Mm-hmm.
decision now. I'm going to be, me, like I'll keep it 100. So I'm gonna share with some things with y'all that, I really don't really do often. But me coming to Maryland, like my first half of the year, it was like a dream come true. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like it was that was my dream school as a kid. So I obviously made that, dream come true. I won spring game MVP. um I had a lot of raving reviews from, like, scouts, and
Mm-hmm.
they ranked me number 3 in the Big Ten behind Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Ibuka that year. I was preseason all Big Ten. um I was balling in camp. Like, I had a phenomenal camp. Everything was just so perfect, and I'm not really sure how things shifted right before the start of the season. I think I hyperextended my knee, and I had got turf toe first game of the season against
Oh,
Towson.
that's brutal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was a lot of things that was going on. I really can't explain it, but like I'm not gonna get too deep into that. But all I'm
That's
gonna say,
fine. Yep.
yeah, yeah. All I'm gonna say is that it went from the first half of the year being the perfect to, like, the second half of the year being like one of the toughest years of my life, mentally, physically,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally. You know what I'm saying? We had a deep receiver room. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I was the best. I'm always going to feel like I'm the best. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
I've proven it, throughout the camp and everything. And I just felt like I wasn't getting the opportunities that I was supposed to got. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at my snaps that I played at Maryland, I only played maybe 25 to 30 snaps, I believe, the whole season.
Oh
You know what
wow.
I'm saying? Yeah, I didn't get a lot of opportunity there. And like, again, me being one spring MVP, to me having I was a 4-star kid in the portal. I had every off in the country coming to Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Maryland. You know what I'm saying? I broke records at Florida International. Like, everything just looked so perfect to the point where I expected things to just go a little bit differently there.
So
Um,
what did you take from that, and what did you take back with you to take a positive step for year two?
So I'm gonna say three things. The first thing is, like, this is a message for the kids. Don't play around with this portal stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
It's all fun and games, but you need to find somewhere where you're celebrated, not tolerated. You know what I'm saying? And go
Mm.
where, it's not about the levels no more. It's not about none of that. NFL gonna find you, pro football gonna find you anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Any school
Mm-hmm.
that you're at, I would say like I'm not gonna say that I should have did something differently because I feel like I learned a lot being at Maryland as a man, like growing as a
Mm-hmm.
man.
Sure.
But I'm gonna just say like just go where you celebrate and not tolerate it. Loyalty matters in this business. You know what I'm saying? Stick with your family, stick with the guys that you came in with. You know what I'm saying? And never get too high, never get too low. I dealt with injuries at Maryland. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm.
had a lot of family, a lot of stuff I was dealing with my family, a lot of support, issues. A lot of people that I felt like was going to be there for me, wasn't really there for me. So it had to show me that, you just got to pitch yourself first, you know what I'm saying? And, do the things that set you up for life. Keep God first.
Mm.
That's all I was doing pretty much in just, recovery and, just kind of just making sure that I understand that everything happens for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And it definitely prepared me for life, I would say.
Yeah.
So that's what I took out of being there. Like again, I had no problems there, anything. I kind of declared for the NFL a little bit earlier than expected. I ended up still doing pro day there. I have great relationships
Mm.
with the coaches there. There was really no issues, but it just wasn't my the place for me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
For what I wanted to do for my life.
And so you finish up at Maryland after some injuries and things like that. You go into the draft. Tell me about that process a little bit. Like, what is it like to go through that process?
Man, the process that I dreamed, it was totally opposite.
Yeah.
It was devastating.
I
Devastating,
I
man.
can
I'm
only
talking about,
imagine. Yeah.
yeah, it was devastating. Like I had so much, I had so much stock, in college football. Like I killed college football. I dominated literally everywhere I've been at. Even at
Mm.
Maryland, like the stats and everything, not gonna show it, but you pull up my tape, I'm still the same player. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And I just feel like I had a third round grade. I had a lot of draft stock prior to me going there, and everything kind of dropped after that. And I went from like, being drafted to being undrafted. So it's like all that stuff was mentally going through my head. And then I'm back in Baltimore again. So it's like I'm
Mm.
sitting home watching the draft and I'm seeing like a lot of my teammates get their name called, a lot of guys I played with, I played against.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm happy for those guys. I'm just
Of
celebrating and
course.
clapping.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just hard to watch. It was hard to watch, man. It was very hard to watch. It was very hard to watch. It was definitely something that I didn't expect that was gonna happen to me, just off of that you look at my track record, like I ball out everywhere I've been. You know what I'm saying? I produce, and not even just that. Like I think too many times it gets overlooked of what type of person you are. You know what I'm saying? And your character, like that stuff matters, man. I do for my community. I
Mm-hmm.
had good grades. I graduated with a 3.9 GPA. You know what I'm saying? I'm a phenomenal teammate. I've been a four-time team captain. Like I just felt like all that was overlooked. You know what I'm saying? And it was a devastating experience for me.
And
I
after
would
you go
say.
through and after you go through that, the name doesn't get called. What's your next step at that point? Is it? I mean, obviously you get invited to one of the mini camps, but was that kind of a thing of like working the connections and just kind of just staying in shape? Like, I'm out here. If somebody wants to take a chance, I'm here. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, so I had a workout with the Cowboys.
Ooh.
I visited with them. The head scout, his name was Chris Hall. He was recruiting me when I was at FIU
Mm-hmm.
also. But I went there, kind of had a long conversation with them. I was told that I was going to be getting took around 6th or 7th round during that time. So I guess because I had went on a visit to the Cowboys, I guess that kind of raised, some antennas with a few other teams to kind of like, go back and do some research. And
Sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
um, yeah, I kind of went back. I was on my way to go work out one morning and just get a phone call. And it was the Browns, and they was like, we extending the contract to you for the mini camp invite.
Mm-hmm.
Want to bring you to camp, and that was all I needed. You know what I'm saying? Was an opportunity. that lit so much fire, you know, in me, because I was just so thankful just to have an opportunity. I didn't really care about the draft anymore after that. I was like, I'm here now.
Yep.
You know, I got a chance to go and show the world who I am and what I can do. And again, do your research. I was the best player at camp. You know what I'm saying? Literally, I was the best player at camp. I'm talking about didn't drop a ball, ran every route, knew every play. You know, Stefanski, coach, the head coach can vouch. The coach O'Shea, the wide receivers coach can vouch. The special teams coach can vouch. Like, they all was raving about me. Like, you know, saying that I was, you know, I got some feedback to my agent. They was like, you know, he was the best guy at camp. And I'm like, okay, how am I best guy at camp and I'm not signed? You know what I'm saying? Like, I really have no answers. Like, I really just don't understand. Like, that's, at this point, it's just like, just control what you control. That was out of my control. I did everything I needed to do to get signed that day. There's no way that you would have told me that I would have never, I would have left out of there without a contract, but it happened. But my experience there was good. You know, Jameis is like the best player human on earth, by the way. I
Yeah,
love that guy.
Yeah, he just screams likability. Just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know anybody who doesn't like him, but if they don't like him, that sounds like
Something's wrong with them.
yeah, exactly right. Yeah, no, I agree. So how
He's
did
the best
you?
human. He's the best human
Yeah,
ever.
So I'll tell you. So maybe Kevin Stefanski made the wrong decision because it was on his ass when the season was over. That's right. Getting kicked
Yeah,
out,
man.
getting fired from the Browns.
Yeah. He's at Atlanta though, so
Oh, that's right. That's right.
we
Yes,
we
that's
going we
right.
going we going to see what happens. I hope I can get in contact with him one day and make some things happen, some good things happening. So
Hey, it's all about connections. You keep those good relationships and do the right thing. And hey, you never know.
that's what I'm
Um,
saying.
so after this all goes down, tell me about the transition to the arena game. Obviously, the football is a little different. You know, much faster. It's much more. It's a
condensed.
50-yard field versus 100. Obviously, it's a whole different thing. Tell me about that transition.
So after Cleveland, I went home. My family kind of was training and everything. Just kind of waiting for another opportunity. I prayed, and asked God to, guide me. I'm a big faith guy, so I kind of allow God to just, guide me throughout my, my journey. And with the night that I prayed and asked for opportunity, I got an email from Bay Area Panthers. Um, and I'm looking at this email and I'm like, I've never heard of this team before. Like, I don't know where this at. I was reading everything. It says in California. It's an indoor football team, and I was just like, I'm all about opportunity. I never overlook anything, but I kind of was questioning. I'm like, bro, I'm like, God, I said, give me, I said, I want to go to NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he said, son, this is an opportunity. Like, at the end of the day, my goal is still play professional football, extend my career. So, I felt like that was his opportunity for me,
Sure.
to go and, reinvent my career. You know what I'm saying? And, I called the coaching staff, Rob Keefe and all them, who I believe was also a head coach for Albany Firebirds at a point
Yes.
in time.
The Empire.
The Empire, yeah, the
Empire,
former, the
Empire,
former,
Empire.
the former Albany.
Yeah, 18,
Oh,
19.
okay. Yeah,
And
cool. He won a championship there?
yeah,
Yes, he did.
yep, 19.
Okay, okay, yeah. So
2019.
he told me he was stamped around that way. I had to make sure he was stamped around there.
Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, so but nah, he called, reached out to me and recruited me there, and I just said, hey, I like the way the conversation went. And I just signed. I signed there. When I first got there, Cal, it was so beautiful there. And I feel like a lot of people was coming in there thinking that it was sweet.
Mm.
It ain't sweet. You know what I'm saying? So camp was camp. You know what I'm saying? It was
Right.
getting real. So,
Mhm.
and then I found out that only 22 players make the team. I was like, whoa, like, this
Yeah.
is crazy. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I'm seeing guys getting cut left and right. You know what I'm saying? Like, camp was definitely challenging because I'm running an outdoor post. He telling me to run the post a certain way. I'm like, I'm running the post. They like, nah, you got to run it this way, and you just gotta. It's definitely a different game. I would say it's hard. It's definitely a little bit challenging to adapt. Them walls was getting on my nerves in the first
Hmm.
couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think
That was it was hard.
we've heard that from a handful of receivers that we've talked to over the couple of years of doing this, where it's like, yeah, the walls, man. I'm not used to the
Yeah,
walls.
yeah. I got it. Said hello to me. It definitely did a couple times. So it's like another player.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like camp was really good. I had a great camp, but it was definitely wasn't what I expected. It was a tough camp, you know what I'm saying? And it definitely showed me that this is professional football. So it made
Mhm.
me respect indoor football, arena football a lot more.
Mhm.
I ended up earning my spot. First game, I actually got set. And like again, I would like to be transparent. I don't want to just talk about my success. I want to also talk about some adversity too and stuff.
That's important.
Um, you
Nothing's
know,
perfect, you know?
yeah,
You'll
exactly.
you'll endear yourself to the flock, our fan support here. Because it's like, yeah, it's great to talk about all the success, but somebody that can go, hey, I've had failures too, and I'm humble. Like our fans will support that 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I got benched my first game. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Mm.
got benched because I was running. I ain't run the routes the way that I needed to run the routes. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, it was clicking to me, but it just wasn't clicking to me. I'm like, bro, how am I supposed to run a rep like this? Is no space. Like it's literally the wall is right there, bro. I got like, because if you look at a regular football field, right? And I'm a math guy, so you got about 53 yards from sideline to sideline on a normal football field, right?
Mhm.
You cut
Hmm.
that in half. That's around what 27.5 yards that I have to run a corner route. It's hard to cover a good receiver that has 27 yards to run a route.
Right.
Now, you arena football, you cut that in half, it's like you might got like 10 yards. It's like, bro, like this ain't enough, you know what I'm saying? But it's a
Mhm.
thing. Like that's how you know if you're a true athlete, because you have to be a true athlete to play arena football. And it's like you gotta find ways to create space, even when it
Mhm.
doesn't look like you can create space. And that's what I felt like it was so fun for me to learn, because I'm like, I didn't like the way that they went about it, obviously, by sending me, but it's what I needed, you know what I'm saying, to be able to evolve in this game. So
Mhm.
fast forward, the second game I had two touchdowns and killed it. And then fast forward, I was, all rookie team, all conference. I would let my team in receiving yards and touchdowns. But first game, it was a little challenging. I was like, bro, this is hard. You know what I'm saying? Running these
Sure.
routes and stuff like that. But I adapted very fast, and we went 13-3. We was the number one team in the country. And I led the team in receiving yards and touchdowns. So I had a great love. That city was amazing. The fan base was amazing. I fell in love with it. You know what I'm saying? The game. So I enjoy it a lot. And I'm very thankful to be able to, have these opportunities. So
And then coming to Albany, tell me about that process. How did you get involved in touch with Coach Ware? Tell me about the process of becoming an Albany Firebird for 2026.
so unfortunately with my team
Mhm.
and Bay Area, they had to part ways from the city.
Mm.
Hmm.
So I believe they taking a year off.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
yeah, so that was kind of a little challenging for me to hear, because I had a lot of good things going down there, you know what I'm
Sure.
saying? And
Yeah.
they was taking good care of us. It was really, really nice experience. And for that to happen, it was like, again, another thing that's out of my control. And that left us all to be free agents.
Mhm.
So my thought process was, I told myself that I felt like I've done enough to move up to the UFL, CFL, get another NFL invite, camp invite or something like that. But I feel like I still got some unfinished business. You know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
with arena football. So I felt like I did some research on Albany. They reached out to me and recruited me. I did some research on you
Mhm.
guys, and I found out that you won a championship, went undefeated. Some guys was getting some opportunities at some higher leagues. Coach Ware, I
Mhm.
did some research on him. Phenomenal coach. So I just felt like it was the perfect opportunity for me. You know what I'm saying? Just being in an environment, where they're winning. You know what I'm saying? The AF1 is a little bit different from the IFL. I feel like
Mhm.
the IFL, the rules are a little bit different. I feel like in the
Yes.
AF1, they
Mhm.
go a lot more man,
Mm.
a lot more man to man than the IFL. I'm by the way, I'm sick of the IFL. They keep going cover 3, cover 2. They don't want to play man to man in that league for some reason. Every time they go man to man, they get it handed to them. So I think that's why they, you know what I'm saying. But I started watching film on the F1. I seen that they was going a lot more man, which is a little bit good for me to be able to show my route running ability in that league. And I just felt like I know my boy Rob was there.
Yep.
A familiar face. I know that what's his name, Casanova, something like that.
Yep, Sam
Yeah,
Castronova.
Yep.
Yep.
I know he went off. I'm not sure if he, how that's working, but I know he went off. I seen
Yep.
Rob there, so
Mhm.
I was like, I felt like that'd have been a good. It was a good situation for me. So, yeah, that's why I signed.
And just talk about. I mean, like you said, you kind of did your research, saw that they won the championship, won undefeated. What did you see in when you looked at it? Like, yes, this is a place. This is my place. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you look at a team, you're like, oh, I got maybe this opportunity, maybe that opportunity, and you look at this and you're like, that's the opportunity I want. Well, how did that go for you for Albany?
Like, what stood out to you? Like,
What stood out to
this
you?
is it. You know what I mean?
I would say honestly the culture. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the coaching staff created a culture of winners. So I feel like you know it's hard to kind of when you coming from a place that I came from where we was the number 1 team in the IFL,
Mm-hmm.
and we was winning there. So I didn't want to go to a losing team, you know what I'm saying, or a losing program because the identity and the culture is not going to be the same, you know what I'm saying. And when I wanted to transition, I wanted to make sure I transitioned to a winning team,
Right.
a team that understands how to win, a coaching staff that's used to winning, that expects to win. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And they're gonna push you to be a winner. So
Right.
I feel like the conversation that I had with them was we had the right conversation. I felt like it was about the right things. I let them know obviously I don't plan on being in Albany, 3-4 years. You know what I'm saying? I wanna make it out. You know what I'm saying? I wanna come here to give myself an opportunity to play at a higher level.
Sure.
And I felt like the conversation, I felt like I felt like it can happen here. You know what I'm saying? And the environment was where it needed to be. I've been in New York before. I love New York. I love the environment. I know it's some nice fan base. I did some research on the fan base. I actually used to see the Empires, I believe, on a game. It was like a video game, like back in the days.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I remember that team from the video game.
And what you talked about just a second ago, with the ability to move up, Coach Ware is not like that's not a secret. He's said publicly that like he wants guys to be able to get a chance, to be able to go to the highest levels, whether that's the CFL, the UFL, or even the NFL. So that's something that he's talked about, and getting guys opportunities, from what they do in Albany.
Well,
Absolutely.
another thing too that I think that's important, and I'm sure you went through this, during your decision processes, is also how strong the brand is, right? Like knowing that if you're going to commit to this, they're going to be committed to finishing and doing the things that they say that they're going to do, and there's going to be, it's going to work out in terms of it's solid, the culture is right, the fan base is there, and in the end, it all the operation is right. I think that gets underestimated by some guys sometimes, and I think it's important to really know, for lack of a better phrase, who you're working for, right? Um,
Exactly.
not just go here because this looks good. Like you got to prove it. Like you got to like have something tangible in order to make a good decision. I think Albany makes that very easy. At least that's my opinion. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not gonna lie, like the AF1 in general as a whole, like
Mm.
I've seen that it was the league. It was like it was a lot of little challenges because it's young. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And with any league that's getting started, it's gonna be some adversity, some challenges. I just felt like
Mm.
Albany was that one team that just stayed the same throughout
Yeah.
everything. Like
Mm.
it was solid. I felt like there was no changes in
Mm-hmm.
what they was doing and operating. Because that's a lot of people around the world. We know they kind of tend to think they kind of had their opinions about arena football and indoor
Mm-hmm.
football. Like they don't understand until they actually live it. You know what I'm saying, or be
Mm.
inside of it. It's some great cities. These are some great teams. These are some great ownerships. These are great people.
Sure.
This is real professional football. This is not semi-pro. This is
Yeah,
real football. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like,
Yep.
we get paid to do what we love to do. Like, and everybody has expectations. You got a fan base and cities that expect to win. You know what I'm saying? People that's culture driven. People that this how they feed their family. So this ain't a game for people. So I looked at it, I just felt like Albany just checked all those boxes for me.
Well, I speak for, I like to think most that we're excited to have you here. We're excited to see, what this team can do this year. I think there's a very good possibility this team may repeat. But you gotta do the things in front of it in order to get to the end. So,
I
with that, it's
I have one more question also that we did the research. We one of the things we talked about is a nonprofit that you run called the
yes.
Big Time Foundation. Tell me about that organization and what it is and what it does, and give a plug for your nonprofit.
Yeah. So Big Time Foundation is my nonprofit. Um, it's mainly focused on the youth. It's something that's still up and going and growing. We do community events. We do toy drives. We do turkey drives. We do back to school events. We feed the homeless. We clean up the community. We do football camps. We do a lot of things. I feel like, me, I look at myself as a brand. I never really just, looked at myself as just a football player. I looked at myself as a brand, somebody that when they see me, they see a variety of different things. So I appreciate that and respect that you bring that up as well.
I'm glad you did because we talked about it and we had almost forgotten about it. So I'm glad that he reminded us to do that.
Now, is that in the Baltimore area where or is that just wherever you are? That's what the kind of stuff you do for the kids of the area, or
Yeah,
both?
it's based in Baltimore, but we're gonna expand. I want to expand to everywhere I'm at. You know what I'm saying, and just kind of do community events. And whatever city that I'm residing in at the time, I want to be able to connect with the community as well, and help the youth and those cities and those environments as well. So it's still up and coming. I had again these things you have to have a team. So it's kind of I'm still preparing the team. You know what I'm saying, putting the team
Yeah, it takes
together to
time.
like
Yep.
help me like follow through with everything 100%. But it's something that like I enjoy doing, and that I really like put on a high pedestal for my life. I feel like that's really important to give back.
Sure.
We have a couple of comments, people commenting on Facebook and different ways for the stream, and they're saying, "Let us know how we can help your nonprofit." So they're in our immediately
So yeah,
the
nah,
flock, the
definitely.
fans.
I appreciate that. Now my nonprofit on Instagram is Big Time Foundation. My Instagram name is team_Reese, team_RESE. My Twitter is underscore Big Time Zero, and I forgot my TikTok, but we'll get that later.
That's all right. No.
We got three of the four.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll find
when
you.
we post stuff, we'll tag all the different social medias so that you'll be involved in that too. Also, the fact that you wore zero, I can always appreciate a football player that's willing to wear zero.
Yeah, exactly. I come from zero, man. I come from nothing. I done built this from the ground up, so
So I have a
I
question.
had to.
So
Yes, sir.
this is a silly question. How come the single zero is cool, but the double zero is like no way? Like, what's the difference?
I like both zeros. If that was a double zero, I probably wear it too. Hey,
Yeah,
hey, we go. Hey,
I think
hey,
double zero is a lineman number.
I'm like roulette.
That's right.
Bet on green, baby.
Yeah, that's it.
So Tyrese, we've had a lot of fun here tonight, and we look forward to you coming to Albany here when camp gets started in the middle of March, and we're looking forward to it.
Hey, much love, much appreciated. I appreciate you guys. I see what y'all doing. Keep up the good work, and
Appreciate it.
I'm excited to meet you. I'm excited to meet you guys, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
it'll
it.
be here before we know it, and yeah, let's get it done. And
Yes,
thank you
sir.
for everybody watching tonight. Appreciate the interaction in
All the
the chat.
support.
So yeah,
We
hope
just want to mention one other thing too. We're going to be talking it was mentioned a little bit during the coaches show. We're going to be doing a Firebirds media network that's going to be the coaches show, Flock University, and stuff with us. That's coming. More to come. Gonna vague post a little bit right there, but more to come with that as we go. And then the coaches show Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning at IHOP in Clifton Park with Coach and General Manager Damon Ware, hosted by Team President Jeff Levac. So be ready for that. That's coming as well. Tyrese, we'll talk to you later, man. Really appreciate it. And thank
Yes,
you guys
sir.
for
Appreciate
watching.
it.
All right.
Absolutely.